Morning, everyone. Keeping an eye on the 15-minute charts on ES and NQ. Potential for a 3-bar reversal if we can hold the halfway back. Just switched over to the 15-minute charts so that you can see what I see. We need to make the body high of our ES candle supportive if we want that move to happen. So that's because if this doesn't happen, this will turn into a 3-bar to the downside. But we can clearly see a buyer present here on these lower wicks. We're just looking to see if our buyer can really maintain this 50 level and push us over this 53.75. NQ looks much better than ES as of right now, but both Russell and NQ look to be wanting to higher. As long as we're able to maintain our halfway, looks like a potential reversal off of. Russell breaking out. Yeah, I think building above like 286 to 290, 286 to 290 is really where I'd love to see a buyer be able to maintain here on NQ if we were going to hold. Just need to get over this at some point. See if this next 15, if we can develop out.
So oil prices extend gains, with US crude futures rising by $1 a barrel. Session high of around $79.28.
The flex. ES has to get over 53 to make it supportive. We want more. Perfect bounce off our 86 buyer. Need to see if we can now hold this or if this will be all that we get off of that move. Buyer I saw there. I'm gonna watermark this chart. Good weekend? It was alright. But you? Uh-oh. Palmer? Oh, yeah, look at that thing. Too high? Yeah, I did. Crazy that that man can tweet a photo and make the stock go up 20%. I mean, the last time I saw it was last night. 100% is nuts. About to get called back to Congress, man. You probably, you missed the squeeze. Unlucky.
Gazprom year-to-date gas exports to China grow 37.4% year-on-year.
What's great about this move is that 90% of people are still underwater. I hope it keeps going for the sake of everyone else and for everyone who just added today, because if not, this will be really painful. It'll be a very painful week if sellers are able to hold control. So what you have going on right now is you have an event that short sellers were not expecting. This guy tweeting and the reaction from the community. And after that fades, we need buyers to maintain the price. So it's just like, okay, how long can that last? Now that those guys are like have been squeezed. Hopefully momentum continues for the sake of the community, but 2 minutes until this 15 ends. NQ still attempting to hold this 86. Russell, we'd love to see ETH high be able to hold. POC holding on ES at our 250. So nothing's really changed here. We'd really like to see 250 remain supportive on ES. As long as this buyer is holding this 86 to 90, I think that you're probably okay. Still need to get a higher high. If not, then we'll probably come down to fill this LVN back in our 74. Just keeping an eye on that, and for Russell weakness at our overnight high. I think so. I mean, it's up 100%, and it just went down 20% in a single candle, so that would make sense. Again, you're going to have a lot of people chasing the thing. And if they're on the wrong side of the trade, they're going to get absolutely wrecked. The community? What does that mean? uh. 10 seconds until new 15s. Need to see a pretty decent lift into the close of this candle and the ability to hold here on NQ. Or I do think that we could come down to retest this buyer or lower. I would like to see this get a solid bid continuation here. Coming into our value high off the hold of our 86, 90. I'm actually going to exit one as we test value high, but I'm looking for the Pierce over 303. Same thing for the Russell, held our ETH high. Back there in. Get a good trip. Okay. Okay. So on the 15-minute chart, you can see we need to be able to get over this 298 to 307 on NQ. It's your seller short term. It's this node edge at where we're building is great as long as we can maintain. It's our 15-minute AV WAP is that green line. And we can see that we're holding higher lows and our POC is shifting up, but we need to be able to just maintain the previous candle's 15-minute POC as well as this like 8-9 level. And then you've got that rebar reversal on the 15-minute that I talked about before this candle opened. Very clear. As long as we're able to maintain that halfway, right? Get to build, push. I'm out one more here into our 303 PV target. ES still has not broken out like the Russell has. ES
Taking a
again
look at the
needs
Fear
to
and
be able
Greed
to get
Index, 53 out of
over
100 equaling neutral, and the
53s.
Crypto Fear and Greed Index, 57 out of 100 equaling greed. And looking at the VIX, currently up 6.61% at 13.39.
Again, really just looking for buy side to be present at 90s and then push us over 300s off of that hold if we are going to maintain on
Treasury
NQ.
Secretary Yellen says
I
it's
am 2/3 out of
unacceptable
my
to be
position,
dependent on China in key industries.
waiting to see if we 90s now. Again, just off of the 15, like you just want to see buy side willing to continue to maintain their lows to hold our 15-minute AV swap. That fails, right? Then all of a sudden we have a failure at the highs, and we'll have something more so like this, where this will become resistance, and then you can get downside. What we want to see is buy side willing to defend this, build here for continuation up, or we'll fill the gap down 70.
And Yellen says we do not wish to disengage economically with China.
It is chilly this morning.
And Yellen says any steps on China should be targeted and not broad-based.
This is Russell coming into value low. Yeah, you're sick all the time, man. I get sick maybe like once a month. Even once every 2 months. When did you get back from the cruise? We'd like to see this 85 value low hold on the Russell, or we're going to come back down to that 84. Don't expect a ton of upside on ES until the Russell finds a bottom. NQ holding, which is fine. Holding where we want. Did not get stopped on my final contract. That look over 303 is information if we're going to get it. Again, we wanted 90s to hold. Did. Going back up to our highs. It's your current rotation right now. While we wait for the Russell to find its low. Sick on the cruise. Glad you guys. Your look over 303s. Good stuff. Being able to show or like see where that buyer is so important. And I'm just gonna keep posting this 15. I think the higher time frame tells you about like higher lows and where we're looking for support. Russell coming down into our PVZ value low. We want to see a bid and then a push back over 86s from this low, right? We want to see a recovery and then a push back up to high. We don't want value low to resistance or down. Has a lot more room to fall to us. So this thing needs to start basing.
And Yellen says tax revenues should be used to lower the deficit.
We have 303s can now hold a bid. Got our bid on the Russell back up to our 8670. Again, would love to see us be able to now build here for a retest up to our ETH high. That would be ideal. Need to be able to get over this 310. Yeah, 310 is... There's a major seller up here on NQ. So just building up above 310 will be our first sign that we want to retest the high of on the session. Looking for that look above. We have a seller above this. That's why it's concerning where I have it marked. This 15 to 20. So we need to see if the offers move down. This is our LVN from our selling note. I just started offer here. Morning, Julian. The crayons know that. See if we can maintain the higher low. If it can get bought, that'd be ideal. We don't want to see a move back down to POC. 2 minutes until new hourly. Yes, still holding this resistance at our 53s. Trying to make it supportive.
Yellen says if forex interventions happen, they should be for excess moves. Brent crude futures rise by $1 to a session high of $83.82 a barrel.
Start mattering. I think probably after the first like hour of the day, first 30 minutes. You have the gap up, and then it's kind of like reconciling with the gap up. You have all of the stocks gapping up, which makes tick go to an extreme in the morning from all the pre-market session. It's just finally recording once the market actually opens. So that's
Yellen says
kind of
intervention should
now
be rare.
we've come back to a neutral level, so now we can rotation started. Still just looking to see if buy side was spend this. It's where our seller previous was, right? Nope, I just got stopped at my final. Back to our POC here. I don't think anything's wrong yet, but we do need to see that push over the seller above. We're just coming back down to our basing, looking for the Russell to be able to bid now from value low. Like we have drawn to flag out. Our new hourlies have opened. Going to post this again to see if step in. Testing into it now. A little dramatic. Our push down into our LVN on it. Can find another entry. I want us back over 90s. Going to maintain where this can easily flip over to sell side into 90. Until we see 90s go supportive again, think of that as where your seller is for a reoffer. Look at the volume profile on the side, where those deltas are. 90 is what we were playing off of for the buy side. So if they're now off sides, we now need to see if sellers waiting there. 90.95 is POC now resistance, right? That's basically it. If we can bid it back above, then no change. Just rotating this node. But we've got to see. Russell held on retest of our value low, popped, pushing to POC again. That is called a footprint chart. And the thing on the side is just a deltas. My price axis. It's all in trade of it. But you can get it on TradingView now, technically. Just change your chart type to footprint. Get a similar result. Can't speak for the accuracy of it, but it does exist now.
The UK DMO may syndicate 2 UK gilts during July-September quarter.
Start test on NQ is very important. And we build tier, or will this be a failure for buy side? Need to see this now be supportive. It's 86 to 91. For a push back up to 303. So this was your seller's chance here. As we pushed below, we needed that offer to hold at the low edge of the tail if it was going to get continuation down. As soon as we were able to push above that, right? As soon as we aren't able to hold this as resistance, we will rotate the node back up to the high. We look for lower highs and lower lows for sell side. As soon as this became supportive on a retest, right, we expect price to be able to at least push a bit. Need to see that push and look below the ability to hold here for more downside action. We look for that acceptance below or the ability for buy side to now defend this tail. It's the same as before. Scroll. We had a look below and then we had a higher low build. Can we maintain or will this flip offer? If it flips offer, then we get downside. As long as this is able to maintain higher low, then we can build here where we've been basing. Full rotation on the Russell from the retest and hold of our value. Pushing back up to value high from, again, entry back into value low. The ability to build and then push It's a great first PT if you are playing the Russell. We push back into our high edge. We need to see 90 become supportive on RTY. Or this will be just another rotation into the highs. Offer sitting at this 94.50. Just ate it. See if they're willing to defend this edge. We can push. Watching our Russell ETH high retest off of the failure at value. Can we maintain ETH high now and our POC to build and push over our 90.1? Or is this just going to continue to rotate within value? To answer your question a bit more, Julian, I think tick matters from the beginning. It just depends on like what information you're after. It's like it gives you an idea of the breadth of the market from open, and then it gives you an understanding of when things kind of come into when the selling is done from taking profits in the morning. But like other than that, it just really depends on what kind of information you're trying to take out of it. I think it's useful always, but its use case changes throughout the day. Like it's a breath signal at open, and then it's kind of a like we know again we're opening from a huge gap up overnight, so us opening into an extreme makes a lot of sense. And then it's just about when does this kind of start to come back to that neutral state where the selling is kind of ceased. And when we can see that lift, then there can be potential for trades here. But really what I watch for mostly is just the rotations back down towards zero, and then looking for rotations in the day that aren't affected by that extreme from the gap up. So now it's like, to me, this kind of action now starts to really matter. It's still holding R0 and bullish, but can we now maintain where we oscillate here? Or do we need to come down to a negative 500 first before we get a move? But the zero hold is a good sign. Again, like it's you take out multiple factors from it. Like being able to see this bullish divergence as ES is basing here is good. It's all about what are you after. I think that always has useful information. It's just sometimes the useful information is you shouldn't touch anything. If we're rotating zero, probably not a great time to trade. Which I think can be like incredibly useful as just like an understanding. If the market is neutral, don't expect a ton. So we do get a cast into our extremes, letting us know that there's potential for relief. Failure to hold ETH high on the Russell, going back down to our POC from PVZ and our value low. Again, we're just rotating this node until a direction is decided. Neutral take. Sell side trying to gain acceptance below 50s on ES. No change there. New 15s open in 9 seconds. Same with new 30s. That's our value low on the Russell. Buy side still willing to hold here, but we need to see over 95s on NQ. Or that will be where our sellers still sitting. Staying into 95s now. Offer looks like it wants to hold. A lift above and then a bid. Back into our neutral state on NQ off of a failure at 95s. 95 test again, see if this lift will happen from our neutral state. Again, just oscillating a node. I'm out 1 into 303. Looking for that to become supportive again, or this will be the top of our node structure. Huge 2-point range on ES between our PVZ low and PVZ mid.
It's been 10 minutes time now at the top of the hour. We expect the release of the New York Fed inflation expectations.
Another oscillation on our Q node from a failure at 303s. See if side's willing to defend this edge again. Again, I am only really bearish on a hold below this resistance. Or we should be looking for dips to get bought. Play off of that blue zone from the look back into it. We know that this is our resistance above. We take profit into this. Now we look to see it. Understand Russell failing our highs and pushing back down to our PVC. if you aren't great at trading ranges, then I would avoid this area until we start to look for expansion. Understand that we're just rotating a node until a decision is being.
And Goldman Sachs Solomon says the US economy is chugging along in a pretty good shape.
Always. This week?
So in 5 minutes time now, at the top of the hour, we expect the release of the New York Fed inflation expectations.
Well, you have NQ sideways and you have Russell push down. So yes, does nothing. Back down to the low of our node rotation on NQ, and just can we maintain this blue zone as supportive, or do we look below and then the blue zone becomes our offer for continuation down to 74s? I do not have the answer for you as of yet. 2 minutes and 30 seconds and gains. Russell back down to our PVC basing. Again, if we're going to break out of this node oscillation, what I have drawn is what we want to see. We expect buyers to be present here. If it dips below, then we look for acceptance for continuation down. Or we remain in this oscillation. Need to see acceptance over 303 or push back up to our seller up at 310. That is another rotation on NQ. Again, if you are not great at trading ranges, then don't. It's crazy that you don't have to press the buy button. Just wait for that expansion on either edge.
So we're shortly expecting the release of the New York Fed inflation expectations. Should be just under 1 minute's time now. Ten seconds.
Russell
So
trying to
New
get
York
back
Fed,
into
the April
value.
year ahead,
So far failing at
1 year
85s.
ahead inflation expectations, 3.3%, which is up from March's 3%.
New 15s, new
Also
30s
seeing
just
the 3 year
opened.
ahead, that's down at 2.8% from March's 2.9%. A 5 year ahead inflation expectations, 2.8%, also up from March's 2.6%.
New PVZs just opened. We have our downside target and our upside target off of the failure of our blue, right? Upside 303 and then 1150.
So more in this New York Fed report then.
75s
higher
below.
future prices for food, rent, medicals, and gas. So again, expected future spending level rises.
Neutral state.
In this New York Fed report as well, the year ahead expected home prices are rising to the highest level since July of 2022.
Hustle back up to our resistance from the hold of our PVC low. Watch to see if value low can now hold as supportive. Or push back up to our ETH high.
Outlooks are rising here, fueled by expected increases in housing costs, again according to this New York Fed survey.
Watch this 8530 on the Russell if it's going to hold, or again, same thing. Another failure at our seller. We watch this look below on NQ. See if buy side can get us back above, or if the offer is going to lower down into 85.90. For that move down to 75.
I've also posted out the New York Fed survey of consumer expectations on the feed for anybody interested.
Another failure from sellers. Now you look to see if the bid will step up for another rotation back up to 303. Again, we need to see that hold as resistance like I have drawn. I want that continuation down. Rotate the node. Here, back to the middle. See if we can build a higher low here. Battle for a 94 is currently offer trying to move down into it. Watching our Russell into our value low again.
Treasury's pair gains after inflation expectations gauge rises.
Back to our 303, full oscillation. Your stop's up. There's your 303. Room to 10, 11. We can look above and hold. Do people understand what I'm talking about? Hopefully. This edge is just incredibly important. If sellers fail to hold here, then we look for the rebid, right? The recovery of this level from the look below, and we now buy here, and then we look for the rotation back up. If sell side was serious, they would hold this edge. It's literally that simple. You don't need to get in here. You can wait for the retest and then play off of this edge. We look for the rotations back up. We've now been able to do this 1, 2, 3, 4 times. How has value shifted on the day? POC has now shifted to our value low, right? So value has shifted up from buy side. We have doing a rotation of our value of PVZ. We can see the node here. That is what that is being described, from our value low to our value high. We are maintaining the mid. We are rotating up, get a stacked buy signal in the low, get a stack sell signal in the high. That is a node rotation. We play off of this as our pivot to let us know which way we should be interacting in. That is just a rotation of a range. So we're now attempting to build at our value high from the previous period, right? 303s. It's trying to be supportive. What does that mean? Well, it means that buy side is looking for expansion, but hasn't succeeded yet, right? Where are we building? Well, we have a tail that we are trying to build out, and we are trying to flag at the highs, right? If we can succeed here and build, we get continuation. If we fail here, right, we then are accumulating at the highs, and that's going to make a buyer off sides for that punishment and the
Fed
rotation
bids
back
for
down.
3-month bills total
So we're
$7
looking to see if this
billion.
flag can maintain at this 303 and then make
Fed bids
value
for
high
6-month bills
supportive.
total $7 billion.
If it fails, we know where we're going. We will rotate back down to our node. Either we're able to break out and expand, or we will fail at the highs for another rotation. Are we still maintaining our balance, or are we looking for expansion? You can see, like, we're very flat. We've got a rectangle going, but it's a higher low regardless. Trying to build it out. Yes, desperately trying to get back over 50s. Still struggling. Something now. There's your rotation down from a failure at the highs on NQ. Again, we will maintain our rotation inside our balance until we see the break and hold above. Watching ES into our value low. See if we can maintain a higher low here. Another failure at 250s.
At 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time, we get the US 3-month bill auction. Prior high yield 5.25% and a prior bid cover of 2.72. We also get the US 6-month bill auction. Prior high yield 2.91 and a prior bid cover of 5.155.
Why do you say it like that? Sellers are attempting to move the offer down off of this 94 on NQ. Just back down in the middle of the range. We need to see if buy side's willing to defend here, or if this will be another full rotation back down to the lows and the reoffer of our 86 to 90. Right back to our pivot here.
US Eagle forward oil output due to rise in June to the highest since December 2023, according to the EIA. And US Permian oil output due to rise in June to the highest since December 2023.
Shift this with how price is moving.
US Bakken oil output due to rise in June to the highest since December 2023.
So from the look below, we're now looking to see if we can maintain here and build back above POC. Just like last time. Is the seller sitting here? Or can we get the look above and then a bid of 94s for a move back up? This is POC as resistance as of right now with our 94 seller. Need to see the ability to hold
That's
a higher low,
11:30 a.m.
or
Eastern
this
time.
is
We get
our
the US 3-month
re-offer.
bill auction, prior high yield 5.25%, and a prior bid to cover of 2.72. We also get the US 6-month bill auction, prior high yield 5.155%, and a prior bid to cover of 2.91.
The Top Step sale, another $19 account. Is that what that is? This is like our first real test from our seller, trying to maintain us below. If they fail here again, fully expect a rotation back up to the. We need to see them be able to maintain this 89 to 94 as resistance for that move down to 74s to retest our low. We're not seeing a ton of follow through from sell side, but they are able to in our pivot now. First time.
Shortly expecting the results of the 3 and 6-month bill auctions.
Looking for either one more leg down on NQ or a lift back over our blue zone and then a supportive bid to step in. It makes sense at this point to retest value low. But like if we come back up to POC and we see a bid step in before that happens, then I'll play off of that. It's either one. Don't care. Watching the Russell into our 80.4. There's our dip below that we were looking for on NQ. See if we can hold our value low edge. Or if this will be our first sign that we want to expand. So if we're going to go for expansion downside, then we want to see 75s hold as their offer for that move down to R56 on NQ. Below
US oil
56s,
output
that's
ranked
when you
top
can
shale
get
producing regions due to rising
continuation.
to the highest since December 2023.
Again, keep an eye on our look into our 75s again, see if we can get back into our range, or if that will hold as resistance. Our test.
Six-month high yield 5.165%, 5.165%. 6-month bid to cover ratio 3.02, 3.02. The US sells $77 billion in 6-month bills and awards 96.18% of bids at high. 3-month bill bid to cover ratio 2.77, 2.77. High yield 5.25%, 5.25%. So the US sells $77 billion in 3-month bills and awards 10.61% of bids at high. The US dollar hits nearly a 2-week high versus the yen, last up 0.3%, 156.2.
Solid recovery of our value low on NQ, off of failure from sellers at 75s. Trying to rotate back up. We watch again our 89 to 95 as our seller. Don't look for more until we can make 95 supportive. But above that, then we can look for probably a new high a day if 95s become supportive off of this failure at the lows. But until then, again, offer is here, our 89 to 95. Same thing on ES. And this blue zone where we were finding buyers before is this now sell side. Watching our retest of our 75s, value low. Can we hold here, or is that it? We want to see 75s really bid, to be honest, on this recovery of our value. Failure here just lets us know that sell side's in control and they want to continue down on these lower highs. Solid bid. Retesting our high. Testing our value low on NQ. Russell's still showing weakness. Need to see it back over 80.4, really. For, there's not a ton here. We really want buy side to just continue to defend the 75. You'll need to see that look back above 95. Very slow and tight range right now. Anyone catch the Aurora this weekend? Or Friday? Well, yeah, did. Awesome. Oh yeah, you're pretty close to me, Benjamin. It was pretty solid. Like we were right on the edge, but I mean it was still very visible. Super cool. Canada got lucky. Like the entire region had a like, full view of it. Oh, I'm sure those look great. So without any of the light pollution. Yeah, look at that. Amazing. Like even in like downtown where I was, it was still pretty visible, but I just like that's awesome without the light pollution. So cool. Yeah, those colors are nuts. Was the eclipse even visible in Florida, or was that too far away as well? Unlucky. No, we did not kill Dracula. We killed Adam last night, though. The Gloomrot Shard boss. Dracula is insane. That fight's gonna be a grind. But we've killed all the Shard bosses now, except for Dracula. Later, Benjamin. He won't block you. Don't listen to his threats. It's a toxic relationship. Does the title give any benefits, or is it literally just a title? Alright. I'm out half my contracts here into 95s. I'm just in my runners here. I had a initial position at 65.78. On the recovery of our value low that I talked about. Right. So dip into our 65s, and then recovery of our value, add in here, profit taking into our resistance. Look for continuation for the rotation up on my remaining contracts, or stop out. I mean, it's just like that was our ETH low on ES. It was our negative 1000 tick, and it was the Russell bottoming, and then we got our reversion signal on the Russell with us maintaining that invalidation level. So for me, it felt semi-safe to at least put on an initial position, but as soon as we were able to reclaim value low, then I just waited for the rotation up. As long as we were maintaining value low, then there's no reason for me to exit the position. So I just added up, and then I would just move my stop to break even, because like if sell side was serious, we would have held that as resistance. That's literally it. So like, did I expect the full rotation? No, but as soon as we held value, I expected the retest of POC, which is why I had my limits at 95. Well, like, expansion only occurs if we hold value low as resistance, right? So as soon as we enter back into value and everything else is bottoming, then it's like, okay, well, expansion is at least on hold until we see that look below and then the offer. But like, if the bid can maintain a recovery of our balance, then we have to just assume that we're trading the balance. Is there a way to see multiple titles on Destiny, or can you only have one equipped at a time? Okay. And you don't get like a special cosmetic or anything to show it? It's... And hours of silver ore grinding. Early. You brought one piece of silver ore home at a time. Yeah, that doesn't look like mine at all. It's like we've held 75s as value low for a while now. Like the PVZ 75s. Remember, like we had a shift of value. So what happened at the lows there? Well, we know that 55 is our value low from the beginning of the session on PVZ. We know that POC was at the 75, and that's where our value low shifted for period 2. So all we did was come back down. Now let me full chart this. Right, again, we're trading in, it's a balanced day after the gap up. So what we've done is that this is our value low for the period 1. This is POC. We see a shift of value to where this has moved up, where our POC is now our value low. If we were going to hold for expansion, what I would want to seen is for us to fail here, to then rotate back down to our value low, and then this would need to become resistance from period 1 for continuation. Or we're just rotating between 75 and 55. But as soon as we recover 75s, that value is holding, and we should expect the rotation back up to POC at 94. Because we just did the rotation below, which is the same thing, which is value low to POC. This is value low to POC. So as soon as we recover 75, it's like I'm playing back up in this node balance. And it's like same thing again as before. Like if we hold this 89 to 95 as supportive, we trade to 303, 310. If this buyer is willing to defend, then okay, let's rotate to the higher edge of our node. I'm out one more here, and then I'm just gonna move my stop up. After my dog barking, I will be right back. Just move my stop to break even on my last contract. Looking for 303, 310, expansion above that. I'll be back in like, I don't know. That's better outside. Looks like we got our 303 target. Russell back up through our resistance. Same with the S at this 250. Need to see the breach above 250 and hold. Or that is it. This is another rotation of our NQ range. Looks okay on our structure, but there's not a ton here on NQ. Like this is just sell side on the footprint. Need to get back above this top of range here over 310s. See that volume that was traded up there is pretty massive. But boxy kind of day. I think on days where I'm streaming alone, I'm going to switch over to the music bot in Discord and then mute Discord itself so that I can play whatever I want. Well, still, like, if people listen along, they can. Then I don't have to listen to lo-fi. And then when Mario gets on, I'll stop doing that. And then, like, the YouTube stream will just... That makes sense. I think Tom added it that day that he was... I don't know how it works. I'll have to see. You guys remember the name of it? I feel like it had something weird name. Oh, Fred Boat. Slash. There's a command in Fred Boat called /image catgirl, by the way. What? What other nonsense does this thing have? The whip is okay. The legendary version is really good. You need proper stat rolls for the whip to be viable. You need attack speed. The whip is good for PvP. Here, let me show you this thing that Lala sent me. Legendary. It's actually busted how fast this thing moves. Look. What? That's the legendary, the orange, the named item whip. So that one's definitely good. We're just rotating zero tick, very neutral market with everything at resistance. We'd like to see this 95 to 89 hold on NQ, right? Maintain the middle of our node. We were going to rotate higher. If this becomes resistance again, then we'll look back for a value low. But we really want to see buy side step in here and show a bit of excitement. Understand that again, our tick is incredibly neutral. So we're looking for buyers at our value edges right now. It's key. So ES into our value low and NQ at our POC. Russell at yesterday value low, value high at the or just want to see buy side willingness to hold the mid on NQ. Pretty slow market. The whip got a ton of nerfs. Beta of full release. It was nerfed to the ground, but I think it's still viable. But it's definitely not what it was from what I've read. They did a lot of reworking of it since beta test of full release. I could see like a attack speed life leech on primary primary hit builds being pretty solid. And then I think you'd use whip and longbow for the attack speed. Life leech build. Use both. Same build. Only SoundCloud is kind of a bummer. From our hold of 95s, pushing back up into 303, just top of our range. Waiting on the Russell to figure out if it wants to hold this 80.4. Higher lows on NQS battling with our resistance at POC. 10 minutes until new hourly.
At 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time, we expect comments from SNB's Jordan, who speaks at an event in Zurich.
Russell's starting to show a bit of weakness. I'm just keeping an eye on that as still just trading in this upper balance. Slowdown's pretty annoying. 6 minutes left until new hourly candles. Debating if I just exit my last runner, just leave it at break even.
At 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time, we expect comments from SMB's Jordan, who speaks at an event in Zurich.
Have you guys played with that game that Mario showed you guys on Friday? I haven't touched it. Forgot about it, to be honest. I need to play around with it. The Jane Street card game. What was it called? Foddy? Figgy? Yo. Welcome to the slowest price action. Yeah, balance day. This neutral tick is something. Yeah, Zach Morris is an AMC. Actually, a meme cycle. Yeah, so it's just there are relative extremes in the market on tick. There's only I actually have a video that explains it all. This is a decent down. Yeah, so it's just the lines are just giving you an idea of the rotation that we're in. And then you look for divergence with them. Just a way to like easily spot the beginning of a new trend or the end of an old trend. We look for rotations from like this, right? We're projecting going into 1,000. Like, okay, that's a rotation down. Works decently on 1 minute. That's where it was designed. But you're basically just following rotations. It's not the greatest on neutral days, but I mean, it still gives you a directional understanding.
Shortly expecting comments from SMB's Jordan.
Just a way to help visualize, that's all it is. Then the red lines and the green lines are showing you divergence between tick and price. I think I explained everything in that video. It's pretty short. If you have any questions after you watch that, let me know. Big dog. Surely when Mario hops on, we get one candle just breaking us out of here, right? Price action speeds up, goes straight to 20k on NQ. Surely. Pushing into our top of range here on NQ. Is our value high? Remember, we have that seller at 310. Be aware of that. Until we see like a willingness to bid above, still kind of just respecting that as our edge. I feel like if we show any interest above it, though, then we have potential to come up, test our overnight, or just the 36 high. There's just not a ton of volume traded up there. Like anything over 20s, and then I think it has free run. It's just like this seller here, 10 to 20, and keep is pretty rough. Like no willingness to let us through. Yeah. Is the range. I just don't want to like look for expansion preemptively.
Hello, everybody.
So
Yeah, I probably went from being insanely quiet last week to back to normal. Crazy.
feel good to be back to PC.
Yeah. It does.
It was dismissed but left open for potentially more evidence. So they can come back to it, kids, but they did dismiss it right now. Somehow they got out of that, which is crazy. But they have leniency to, if more evidence comes up, to press charges again, I guess. Best way to put it. Yeah, exactly. That's what it felt like to me. I mean, and Zach Morris went right back
Bank
to
of
it.
America's Moynihan says, I see slower growth, but still positive spending in the US.
I'd be interested to actually, like, read some stuff about that, like actual documents. I wonder if they just went around, like, the charges in the wrong way.
They prosecuted a couple people, but not the main members. Like some of the side guys.
Because you can't really, like... it's not, like, illegal to lie, and if they only have like talk, like words, and not really actions. I know that there's times when they were like saying they were buying and they were selling,
Yeah.
but like, if they're not really like manipulating a security and they're not like giving advice per se, it's not really illegal to lie, which is kind of it's like crappy in this situation. You know what I mean?
Very gray.
Yeah.
Pretty strong reaction off our seller up here. Coming back down to POC where we've built out. For NQ, I feel like we really just want this 301 to 298. Like, it's a very tight zone, but we really want this to be able to build. Actually, no. I just want to see this be able to maintain dip. And that's just seeing where the last two candles POCs were, and then where our stacked POC is. So like we can see that there's quite a bit of a zone there, and then we have a delta below. So like I'm just watching this edge as we push in, looking to see if we can hold this higher low and maintain, or if we'll have to come back down to our VWAP. That's literally it. Are buyers going to be able to show a willingness to hold here, or are we going to rotate back down through our node that we've already built out? Can we maintain a higher lower? Because if we can't, then right, we're still stuck in the same balance. So far, solid left off of it, but more. You want to see the bid now move up on the ladder to this 303 for a retest up at 308. Or it's pretty meaningless. They're putting a lot of pressure on ES here. It's tape. What?
book is pretty thick.
Yeah.
Like last week was thin with like the same speed. At least there's people back. Guess everyone took Mother's Week off. They're like, we need a whole week.
You say tick is bearish market. No. I mean, it's hard. It seems neutral, but yeah, you could say like it has a slight bearish. See, the problem is like all we did is gap up and then fill the gap, right? And then like from the gap, we just went bullish again. So it seems neutral to me because we started so high from the initial gap up on ES. We then tested our negative 1,000 in the gap fill from the morning, and then we immediately found a buyer and pushed back up. So I think like the morning session was definitely bearish, right? With a downtrend, very clear, lower highs and lower lows. But once we hit our negative 1,000 extreme, we've seen immediate buying off of that. No real eagerness to continue down from that point of negative 1,000. So it seems very neutral still. But yeah, I guess you could say that it is. Well, I'm gonna get stopped. It has a slight bearish tint to it. Stopped yet. Watching Russell as we come back down into the low. That buyer failed here, failed to push us back over 303s, so just rotating back down to the middle of our node here. Seems to be what's happening. I'm watching ES into our value low to let us know if these are going to bounce, right? We want to see something like this occur on the Russell and ES if NQ is going to be able to hold. If value doesn't hold on ES, then I'm just going to dip. There's no reason to let this rotate all the way back down and stop me out. Look for a better entry. Two minutes until new 15. And yeah. Today is a hard tick day because like the only levels that have mattered are our extremes, and we haven't really tested them often, but they've resulted in really nice moves. And then we've just basically rotated zero for the rest of the day from those extremes. So when we do something like this, I usually am looking at it in the sense of we get a move down. This is exhaustion now from sell side. And now we are in a trend that is following from that extreme. But we're still in this uptrend, price-wise. It is neutral, but from our extreme, we've only seen buying that's led to higher lows. So like I'm not bullish, right? Like it's a balanced session, so there's not really a ton to say. But like on balanced sessions, we really want to be keeping an eye on extremes because they usually will result in rotations back up to the other edge of our balance. Like unless something changes in our structure, we expect our extremes to act as kind of the exhaustion points for both buyers and sellers in the market. Yeah, and so like tick should call solid rotations as long as like our balance is maintaining, and we just look for those levels to have confluence with our tick, like our pivots on price. Resistance into 303s again on NQ. I'm looking for our buyer again to be here, this 301, 298 if they were going to be present. I don't really want to be trapped in this position for much longer. Just like adding time for no reason. Same amount of ticks. Like this trade's going to be 2 hours long, and it's going to be the same if I had exited an hour before. It keeps up like this.
US Treasury Secretary Yellen says we value our trade and investment relationship with China, but have areas where we have disagreements.
Well, that should be a good class.
Yeah, I was like starting to make the post, and I was like, we should just do this tomorrow. I think it'll be good for those who have been around for a while as a review, and then some of the new faces. I think it'll be good for just to kind of learn or get a review on.
Yellen, when asked if she will inform China
How to
ahead of
view
any
it.
US tariff actions, says, "We will ensure counterparts are informed."
I'll probably make just completely public on YouTube as well.
Yeah,
I
makes
think it'd
sense.
be good. Do a full post on it.
And Yellen says, "We've been clear that we may reconfigure tariffs imposed under Trump in a more strategic way."
Yeah. Stone trend. Retesting our ES value low here. Russell still sideways, holding our pivot. Like, you're on a roll, man. Jesus. Q back to POC off of the failure from buyers to maintain a higher low, maintaining lower highs now off of the rejection of our 303. Watching that offer move down from 308s to 303. Now back to POC. If buyers aren't found here, again, like probably just rotate the full node. How that plays out with how slow we're moving, I'm not sure. But we would really want to see buy side just willingness to interact here. Any looks below, then I'll just watch the POC as our offer point for the rotation back down to value low. But as long as POC is maintaining, if we see dips getting bought, everything's just remaining the same.
I just updated my the CapCut, the software I use for like the shorts and stuff. And they have added now a full AI character section where they have like maybe 100 just like set AI like
Fake people.
models, and they'll like talk for you, yeah, and like move around for you.
Yeah.
You can like change their voice and like everything.
Back to our 303 off the hold of 94.50, our POC. Again, top of our range here. We want to see the look above 303s and then the ability to build. Or this just maintains. I'm debating if I stay for the remainder. I don't want to get stuck in this morning.
I feel this is looking to me like we're not gonna do anything for another hour, and then we'll have one trade, and that'll probably be that. It's kind of like the morning though too. I mean, you guys got, well, I guess like 2 or 3,
Yeah.
maybe 2.
Anyone do anything fun for Mother's Day? No? Okay. V Rising? You played with your mom? Nice. Yeah, isn't Mother's Day like one of like the busiest days of the year for restaurants? And then Father's Day is like one of the least busiest. It says a lot about society. Ah, typical Florida behavior. I love Shin Chan so much, kids. Show was such a banger. Yeah, I feel you. I'm about to close mine as well, I think, Cass. There's no reason to be here. We tried. Yeah, I'll be in class, but I think it's gonna be a Mario show, to be honest. But I will be there.
I'll probably do most of the talking.
Yeah. We'll hang out though. See ya. What does that usually do, Julian? Double inside? Does it just mean indecision or what? Or does it give you like an edge for direction? Yeah, okay. I feel that. Wait, you can trade them now? I didn't realize that. I just got stopped on my last runner. Feels bad, man. That's sweet. When I fully move into my new place, I'll probably pick it back up. I think there's like 3 different gyms on each corner around me. I think I'll be able to access all of them from inside my apartment. I'm probably gonna stop the stream here, guys, but I'll stay in voice chat, and if I see any setups that I like, I'll talk about it. But for right now, I'm probably done trading after getting stopped out there. I don't really want to trade this rotation again, personally.
I mean, if this literally like just comes and looks back into like NQBOC and like ES value, we're just stuck again. There's little point in putting brain energy towards it.
I just sat in that trade for an hour and a half, take a break even.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, that was like what was it, like Thursday or Friday, when I like held a runner and I made like an extra like 1.5, 2 ES points from my 15-minute close to my 50-minute close.
Yeah.
I was like, this is silly. Yeah. There it is.
It's fine. It is the beauty of adding to a runner and looking for a potential continuation. Again, worst that happens is I take that break even. No loss. But feels bad.
Big watch here is Russell, a daily lower low. Their Globex value low is the 75.7.
Shoot the barrels with your basic attack. Don't focus boss damage at all, just focus barrels when they're up. Shoot the barrels with your basic attack. When the barrels go away, do DPS to boss. Just NQ into our value low again. Alright, I'm gonna stop stream and then I'll stay in chat. But back to our 75 slow. ETH slow here on ES.